Hello, my beautiful friends and beings of light, because that is actually what you are, a being of light. Today, I wanted to talk about a topic that people don't like to even think about, and that's jealousy. And I can understand why people don't want to talk about it, and definitely do not want to admit that they ever feel jealous. Not everybody, but I know many people who will never admit that they've ever felt jealous or that they feel jealous. But what I want to talk to you about today is how to transform that for your highest good. How to take this feeling that we get of jealousy to grow, to help you grow. So, this is something that we need to ask ourselves. Whenever we feel that resentment, a need to criticize, to gossip about other people, or anything of the sort, where does that come from? Where is that coming from? Quite often it comes from jealousy. Not always, I understand, but quite often it comes from jealousy. Even when we don't realize that that's what's happening, but once we want to use jealousy for us to grow, when we want to use that to help ourselves, then we need to ask ourselves those questions. Okay, why am I resenting this person? Why am I criticizing this person? Why are we gossiping about this person? Of course, it's not always from jealousy, as I say. It's sometimes from even darker places. But when it is from jealousy, we can do something about it. And this is what I want to show you here. Now, I do have about 2.5 years ago, when I started my podcast, it was probably, I think, episode 3, and I spoke about jealousy. It's a long episode, I believe, so I say a lot more there. So if you want to go to the podcast, I will leave the link below, and you can listen to that if you want. So today, I wanted to go through that as well, and it's about what can we do when we feel that jealousy, when we feel maybe that resentment. And so what we need to do then is to ask ourselves some questions. What is causing that? So whatever the situation is, what is causing that resentment, that little, feeling there of, I'm resenting this person or resenting what they're doing. Not always necessarily the person, but what they're doing, where they're at, whatever it is, what is causing that? And once we address that, we can then work with what we find. Now, what I say is that when it provokes something in you, it's because it awakens something. Suddenly, what you're feeling because of looking at the other person, it's because it's touching something within you. And so when something awakens there, it's trying to tell you something. And usually people, they don't even want to even look at it. This is why so many people, they won't admit that they're feeling jealous, when they're resenting, when they're criticizing, when they're judging, when they're gossiping. They don't want to admit that this comes from jealousy. But when you are at that place where you want to grow, as uncomfortable as it is, you will want to look at this and do something with it. Because when we are growing, when we are ascending to a higher frequency, we are going to come across certain things that are not easy to face. And believe me, I've been there so many times. When I started my healing journey. And I say healing, not that it's something that ever stops, but in a way, you know, healing in the sense that I'm soothing that, I'm doing something with that I find that maybe was hurting, it was painful, or anything else, anything that I felt around that. So when you are at that place where you know you want to ascend, you know you don't want to stay in this reality you've been living, you can call it you want to change, you want to evolve, you want to grow, you want to transform that which you have right now into a higher place, into a higher feeling. You know, you want to get towards love. And to get towards love, you are going to find that certain things are not going to go there with you. So you need to address them. Because if you want to live in that loving place, there are things that you need to leave behind. And when I say that, it's you need to release, right? You need to release. And jealousy is one of those. But it's not easy to release anything when we don't even understand how it works or why it's there, what we can do about it. How do I release it? Because this is it. When I, you know, and I've been there, of course I've been there. When I realized that this was coming from some jealousy, it wasn't easy, but I wanted to do something with it because I didn't want to live with that. I mean, it's a horrible feeling. It's a horrible feeling in the sense that it's there, and when you don't do anything with it, it's like a pain that is always there, and you know it's there, and you're reminded of it often because in a way you're focusing on it. So I knew I had to do something. And so this is what I learned myself as well through, you know, my healing teacher and then myself, meditating, asking the universe, asking God, please come and help me heal this space here. So what happens is that we see something, and, you know, jealousy quite often is this gap where you you know, between where you're at now and where you feel you want to be or where you feel you could be, and then you see somebody else in that place there and you resent that because you feel, but that's where I should be. And we even say that I should be there, I should be having that. We use these shoulds, right? And I mean, I can't think of examples right now, but I remember actually, so one thing that I've always loved since I was a little girl, I've always danced. I mean, dancing is one of my passions, right? Passion. And I went to classes, all different classes. I went to like modern dancing, which I remember my teacher was a Chilean teacher in Paris. You know, it was like wonderful. I mean, it was so weird in my teenage years. I did choreography, you know, jazz dancing, and I did some classical, you know, in different levels, quite the beginners, you know, a bit medium, but I didn't go all the way. But I was always dancing. And in a way, I probably back then really wanted to do that on a more professional level. And I didn't. You know, I'm not going to go through everything that happened, but I didn't. I carried on dancing, but I didn't do that on a professional level. And I remember an acquaintance I met through different friends. And there we were in this place, and she was saying that she just started dancing, you know, so she was going to do like a little show. She had not done that before, but, you know, and she was really into it. She could do that. She had no children. She had the time, she had the money to do that. And I remember feeling some resentment. I didn't really want to go and see that. I didn't really even want to to speak about it, to think about it, to, I realized that I just didn't like it. There was something there that I resented that somehow, well, I could have done that. And, I just felt at the time, well, I actually probably a better dancer than that. And maybe I was. But that was not the point. The point is that there was some jealousy there. Why couldn't I be happy for this person? Why couldn't I actually go and applaud her effort, applaud that this is what she had found in her life right now? Why not? And so I had to work through all this. And that is because I felt that I could have been there. My love could have taken me there, and actually even in a better place, more professional than this. But it didn't. Was that these acquaintances, these new friends' fault? No, it wasn't. Had nothing to do with her. Why did I resent that? Now, I didn't gossip or criticize or anything, because I don't really entertain gossip in that way. But inside of me, I went through some judging, or, well, I don't really want to go and see her. And I knew, because I was connecting, that was quite early on in my therapy, in my healing time. So when I started my healing journey, that was quite early on. And so I explained that to my healing teacher. And yes, and then I realized, yes, I do have to work on this. And something that I have learned along the way is that, something that I wrote about, and it's that we cannot ask someone to play small so that we feel better. And I wrote about this on my website. There is an article actually on this, about jealousy. And this is true, because I was asking this person who didn't really know me that well. We just started being friends. I didn't ask, obviously, face to face, but in a way, in myself, I was asking her to play small. I don't want to know about your achievements around this, because I felt, I don't know exactly how I felt. Maybe I felt cheated. Maybe I felt that I could have done that and I didn't. And I don't want to see you succeed because I didn't take that path. But there was a reason why I didn't take that path. And even so, I cannot ask somebody else to play small so that I feel better. And nobody can ask us that. Nobody can do that to us either. Because on the other side of it, I had quite a lot of bullying. And I would say that the bullying that I've received, once I was going through therapy and, counseling and, lots of things, but even as a teenager, the bullying that I received, what I realized then is that these people resented me. They were jealous. Now, when I first heard that, I thought, jealous of what? How could they be jealous of me? I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't feel good enough. I never felt that I was that worthy in anything. So why on earth would they be jealous of me? But you see, our perceptions are so different. They are so different. My perception of myself was very different. While other people, they were envying, they were jealous of what I had. I didn't see that. And that's what was happening. And so they were bullying me. They judged me. It was quite awful. I got some abuse. And what they were asking me was to stop being me, to play small, because they didn't feel good. And that's what happens. So what can we do about it? What we can do is to make sure that we look at the thing that we are resenting. And this requires a lot of honesty. It really requires for us to be honest with ourselves and to go to that place that is not comfortable. But we need to do that. If we want to grow, we need to look at what needs to grow, right? We need to look at what is stopping us from ascending, from going to a higher frequency. And so this is what I help my clients with. Whatever it is in their conversation, because as I say, people don't say I'm jealous, but this I can feel it, I can hear it when they're talking about something. So what then, I go to that space in a very kind way. We always need to do it in a loving way. It's no good, bashing down to somebody. Oh, you're jealous. Oh, you're this. It's not going to help, right? It's not going to help. So we need to start healing that space first. And what happens then is that, okay, so this is how you feel about that person. Would you like to do that? I mean, what is causing that? So once I start asking those questions, what happens then is that the person starts to acknowledging their feelings around that, acknowledging where is that coming from. Yes, I would like that for me, or maybe I'm resenting something, the attention that they're getting, because I'm not getting any attention, or they're getting something. Once we start recognizing that, it's at that place that we can soothe ourselves, that we can help ourselves. But we need to look at what is going on. And so what we do then is that, okay, I can give myself that opportunity. If that's what I want, if what this person has is what I want, I am now going to put that as one of my priorities in life, because I can do it as well. And remember that if it's something that you really have on your heart, the universe is going to help you. But you need to create that kind space, that positive space, that loving space, so that you can walk into that. Because while we stay in that negative resentment, criticism, judging, we are not going to get anywhere. The only place we're going to be is stuck in that reality. And this is what happens to so many people. And you can actually grow. This is why I say jealousy is not something to be scared of. It's like an opportunity. Just see it as an opportunity. What is it that I want then for myself? Do I want what that person is doing? Or maybe something similar? Do I want an opportunity? Is it that I have not been able to do it, maybe because of my circumstances, and now I'm resenting somebody else doing it? Well, what can I do about it? Because the answer is within you. It's in yourself. It's not in the other person or the other people. But the rest of the world cannot live their lives because of our issues, because of what we haven't done, because of what we've missed. And believe me, I have been there so many times, especially when it comes to some people who are doing the things that I've loved, I wanted, I'm doing now, but I feel like I should have done that years ago. Well, the thing is, maybe years ago wasn't the right time for me. That's how it is. But I cannot resent the people who are doing it earlier, because this is where my life has taken me. My choices, my reality, this is how I've created things. But what I can do now is work from where I'm at. This is where I wouldn't say work at it, but this is where I can create. From where I'm at, I'm creating now. And I'm happy within that, because now I'm listening to my needs, I'm listening to my heart, I'm listening to my desires. And I allow the others to do what they want to do, and I'm then happy for them. And it's such a wonderful place to be, because you are going to a higher frequency within love. You are bringing that love with you. And what you're leaving behind, you're releasing then, is all that belongs in that ego mind, telling you about, yes, I mean, you know, look at them, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. I mean, I hear so many people around talking about maybe somebody who is in charge of something. Oh, well, I could do that better. I could organize that better. I could okay, well, you go and do your thing, and not in a egotistic way, you know, where ego is making you wrong. It's not about making anything right or wrong, but it's about speaking in that space and saying, okay, you saying that about that person, how about you organizing your project? What could you do? How would you do it then? And would you really like to do that? And then some people, they then start doing it and they realize that actually that's not for me. and that's it. And you've given yourself that opportunity to do it. But if it's not for you, then that's fine. But you have now gone into that space, tried it, and realized that there was nothing to be jealous about. Or maybe you've realized something else within that. So this is why when you feel that jealousy, or whatever you want to call it, right? Because as I say, it's not always something that people will like to admit. They don't want to give that name, right? They don't want to give that name. But if you're feeling like that, then just go and work into it with love. Just go into it. So I'm not too sure if I've given as much as I did in my podcast, but you can always go and listen to that. And I think, you know, if you want any more, yes, you can go and listen to the podcast. I'm just looking at some of my notes. But whatever it is, you see, this is what you can grow, because that you can get to the higher frequency when you look at things. You have to look at it and understand that you need to transform this. You need to transform it from a place of, you know, that reality, that lower frequency. Because at the lower frequency, it's all about the ego mind talking to you about you, either you're not deserving, about fear, you know, fear of missing out, fear of not being good enough, that, you know, the others, you are never going to be as good as the others. This is why they're doing it, you're not doing it. Or resenting the others. Well, why shouldn't you have that opportunity? And it's always keeping you in the negative place. And from that negativity, you cannot grow. You can't. You can't grow from the ego mind. You can grow when you align with love. Because that's who you are. You are the essence of love, the essence of the freedom, the love, all that beautiful feelings, beautiful essence in a physical body. You're not limited by this. This is what the third dimension, this is what this reality is telling you, but it's not true. And when you want, you can detach yourself from that, in the sense that it's still here, as I said in that video about love and ego, still here, but you are ascending, you are now allowing yourself to feel lighter and lighter, and it feels so wonderful when you can bring yourself with that love. Love is here, is above everything, and you are the essence of love. So go into that. As I say, just try at least to look into it and see, what would I like for myself? And that's the first step. Now, if you want more support, for one, you could anyway leave some comments, leave some questions here, and I'll come back and talk to you about it. You can, I've got different links here, my Facebook page and, you know, all the social media. But if you really want some extra support, you can join the membership. You can be on the the weekly letters that I send. But the membership is a place where I give a lot more, because of course then I'm addressing very specific points. Here it's more general. But I hope this has helped you anyway already. And you know, I'd love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you. If this has been useful, please just like it, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and share this if you feel that other people will benefit from this. We are all here to support each other, because what we want in this world is for us to be at that higher frequency, that frequency of love. We are brothers and sisters here to help each other. And honestly, when you are at that place, life is wonderful, because you are coming from a happier place, from that peace place where you feel the joy. You feel the joy within that love that you are. So of course we want to bring people with us, because that's the most amazing place to be. So I would love for you to share this and help other people join us here. So that's it for today. And you know, wherever you are, I'm here with you in this healing journey to help you and to support, you know, anything that I can do for you so that you start feeling better. You see, it's all about understanding yourself. Understand yourself. Understand, you know, the emotions. Where is this coming from? What can I do with this? And that's already a big step towards going to that higher frequency. So I'm here for you to help you. And I hope to see you in the next video. But until then, wherever you are, I am sending you lots and lots of love.